I used to like be terrified of just talking to people I didn't know, because I always had that voice in my head that was like, they're going to think you're weird. Don't fucking talk to them. Don't talk to them, whatever. And this local coffee shop that I used to go to, I would always just try to force myself to have some sort of conversation. And I started off really, really basic, literally just saying, hey, before I ordered a cup of coffee. Because I would always be the guy that like I sat at the counter and I'm like kind of like curled up in a ball a little bit. You could tell that I'm just like fucking terrified to talk to this person.
Yeah.
And they're like, can I help you? And I'm like, coffee? Yeah, you know, that was 100%. Me ordering coffee. It was crazy. And so I just started by just going up to the counter, and I would force myself. I was like sweating and I would just force myself, just be like, hey, and they'd be like, hey, how you doing? I'd be like, good. Can I get a cup of coffee? And that's how I started.
Yeah.
And then eventually I started working towards like, hey, how's your day going? And they'd be like, good. How's yours? I'd be like, good. Can I get a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I got comfortable. I like kind of taught myself like, all right, cool. I'm not going to like get fucking murdered if I say hi to someone. Yeah, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like you have those like,
it's literally a progression you have to make.
Yeah. So, and I think the hardest part, and this goes for a lot of things too, it's just taking that first step and finding your way to navigate through it. Because a lot of people are going to say, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah.
What feels good to you. That's all that matters. It's your anxiety or your depression. That's all it is. It's not mine. It's yours. What do you wish you could do about it? Chances are usually when you wish you could do something about it, you can. And like, I don't believe in like, you know, I cured my anxiety, or I don't have depression anymore. I don't believe in that. Yeah. Dude, there's days that I don't want to leave the bed. Yeah. But I always push myself for something better. Always. I'm constantly doing that. And that's kind of like where I feel my salvation is. Like, I'm always trying to like one up myself. I basically just, if I'm, you know, roasting coffee and I'm like combining a bunch of different things and I'm like, all right, this is a 9. How do I get to a 10? Yeah. You know what I mean?
100%.
And that gives me that like satisfaction and that drive, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think forcing yourself into uncomfortable situations just to prove to yourself like it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, or you know, I didn't die. That's great. And it's crazy that's the thought. That's
exactly what goes through everyone's mind. It's funny. I had a very similar situation, like life growing up as you. Was super, super introverted. When I graduated from high school, I was like, oh God, I have to talk to people. Like I went more than a week without talking to a single soul. Yeah. It's like me and my TV is my school. That's it. Yeah. I'm like, I don't need to talk to anyone. And I remember I got out of high school and I was like, okay, and then I went into college, and in my interpersonal communications class, I realized that my life was dominated by like 5 specific fears, like fear of rejection, fear of what others think, fear of the unknown, 2 others that I can't remember. And so for my final, I created exactly a similar thing that you did, a hierarchy for each fear of, okay, if I want to get over this fear, what's the first step? What's one thing that I could do today that I'm scared to do, but I think I could do? And it was literally, it was the same thing as you. I was like, go into the grocery store and say hi to the cashier. Yeah. That was literally my first step. And I was like, so I did it. And I realized they didn't like blow up at me. They weren't upset. The person behind me didn't think I was holding up the line. Like it wasn't a big deal. And then I was like, okay, I got to a point where I'm like, have one conversation with a stranger every day. And like you just slowly move forward. And I literally applied at Starbucks because I wanted to get better at talking to people.
Yeah.
Because I sucked at it. And I'm like, this is an atmosphere where you need that skill. And I'm bad at it. So I'm putting myself in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because my comfort zone is here. And where I want to be is out here. So I have to move towards it.
Totally.
And it's just that step by step. Like right now, I am it's this weird thing. I've come back to being very afraid of what others think.
Yeah.
And like this podcast is helping a lot within that. And I have like a whole program of like what I'm doing presently, step by step, to get over that.
Yeah.
And it's like that progression is so necessary.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said before, I just think it's all about like pushing yourself. Like I've never been on a podcast before. So having a microphone in front of me and talking at first was just like, oh, fuck. Hope I don't say anything fucking stupid. I probably have, but I mean, whatever. It's already said.
It's said, it's happened.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say so, but it said it's happened. If you have, it's fine.
But that's the thing. It's
exactly.
fine.
100% fine.
No one's gonna come in here with a gun and kill me because I said something
Exactly.
stupid on you know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
it's understanding that your mind, for reasons that I cannot explain, will create these scenarios that are just so insane when you say them out loud, but in your head they're so real.